was originally just going right off the last video, saying that I'm an antithetical epitome of unmanly. Yeah, so I am the absolute epitome of someone who's unmanly, and open defiance of that concept. Even the concept that manliness is the highest virtue of humanity, and that it's always, yeah, it protects people. And, oh, the soldiers protect us and all that. I was a little like more chilled before I when I restarted the first time, but then just people coming through the door and passing close by, and this is like a men's shelter, so like I understand the evil nature of man as much as I understand the good nature. I found a lot of allies here. However, there's still a decent, a commonplace of like, no, I don't. Of just wonton. Uh, was is a there's a B word. I think it's B. It just means like for no absolutely no good reason at all, but like a sort of like violence against nature, violence against things that are like weak and small, violence against things that are feminine kind of, and so yeah, so it's like two people walk by, but one's like it's just they're in a really vulnerable spot right there. I really have to put like a great deal of faith into my fellow man that one of them isn't going to just like it's all it would take. And then the one that's like the more the emotional one and whatnot. Like after the one guy passed, yeah, animals are superior. The humans don't even they don't we don't even we've fallen below animals. I think, uh, but yeah, I'm pretty sure like it's sensed. They could sense people's auras and stuff. Like we can't sense people's auras really. Oh yeah, animals have these special senses. Oh, well, no, only dogs do. These other animals, they don't feel anything at all. But they tuck their head. You know, it was like a seeking shelter, seeking protection kind of thing. Although I've seen the tan one also just kind of stand in front too when something threatening was coming, but it's when they walk up, they've been like they'll at night whatever they'll come closer to me. So at this point they realize like, okay, I'm here to help them, and with the way I've like explosively reacted when if someone's like putting on very strong airs of malicious intent. In the last video, before I had to cut it off, I was talking about my confrontations and different possible like psychological, so he might be out of the closet, so to speak, unable to hide it. So flees his culture because most of the world still operates by the ideologies that we've lived by for the last 10,000 years. Uh, and his messing with me and testing with me though, in a way, because I was seeing it. It was really trying to make it into a positive, especially because it's actually one of the guys I probably like unconsciously just like helped out more than anyone else, and he's gonna be the one to fuck with me constantly. There's a bit of a beautiful irony to it, but in a way, maybe he's testing my resolve because I am the antithesis of, manliness. So surely I will break and flee at the first sign of trouble. And so maybe that was a way for him to become more okay with his own identity problems in that regard, being suppressed, being, buying into this like, oh, I must be weak or inferior, and or all people who are of this, men who are like this are weak and inferior kind of thing. But yeah, it's like stressful every time the door opens. It's like, that have to be very, very fast for something to not happen. And like, it's just like I was explaining to my friend who was sitting down here with me. Yeah, kind of like that, like just tucking her head in. But then she like looked up at me, or looked up through the glass, whatnot, reflection in the mirror. But like all the, like all these precious. That's a good way. That's a good word for it. Because like a lot of times, oh, that's precious. That's like things to be cherished. All those feelings of preciousness and cherished would if if one of them was just like wantonly murdered for the sake of someone's outburst, uh, then all that would have been turned into like the deepest, darkest despair and anguish. Like the brutal loneliness of like there's like psychological defense mechanisms. I forgot what it was called. Oh, isolation of effect. I do that one a lot because my emotions are like quite extreme, but they give me more truth than any science has ever. They give my emotions and feelings give profound truths. Science and reason, intellectualism give tyrannical truths or tyrannical half truths. But I have to do the isolation of effect if I'm to try to communicate with the wider audience and whatnot, and not let like all the PTSD and then like knowledge of layers and layers and layers of how fucking deep the the matrix goes. I'll try to probably get more shorter videos here and there. Uh, they really like that spot, and they've been more so stuck over there because I was cleaning up over there. And but yeah, I'm glad they like that spot. And for right now, just hoping nothing goes wrong. there's maybe yeah, I probably really should. There's a scene from Berserk. Basically, man has become apostles or apostates or whatever, but from the Berserk. Because the first one you see him kill is this Snake King, and the Snake King is like screaming in agony, and it's just really awesome, and it's a lot of what I felt like kind of like that. But I wonder to the extent that even like my own feelings of malice right there like radiate out and might get picked up. Like the first person, not the person that kept messing with me over and over and over and over and over again, testing over. No, the first person, they only did it once. I only confronted them once. I've seen them like it's hard to judge. I don't want to accidentally instigate a fight that wouldn't have otherwise been. So it's like I'm very much in this like mutually assured destruction thing. Okay, if it goes down, but if it does go down, then we all go down as far as even them, because I wouldn't be able to protect them the next day from the next asshole. So that's like everything is very much diplomacy and intimidation checks. Uh, but this first one, and it's hard to judge. I'm pretty sure that's the dad. Like they're very gendered, but I can't actually say which one is which sex. However, this one is very much acting like a he, even though it's the one that's been mostly feeding and all that. So something might happen to his mate. Maybe he's looking for a new mate. Uh, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, the first guy. So he's like sort of walking maliciously, and I kind of like I'm a little bit close behind. And he doesn't quite do. He's just testing. He's just testing. Like he's savoring it, thinking like, okay, like, yeah, I can do this. As far as like walking up towards them in a sort of malicious way, and he sees me. He sort of turns around a bit. He walks back around. He picks up one of these push stick things that I was like, I was making improvised little flingers of, and he picks it up, and he sees one of the adult pigeons, and he like tries to tomahawk throw it at it as hard as he can, and it's like at that point his intent was 100% clear. There was no like he's at first like having difficulty truly assessing people's intent, and I don't want to accidentally incite something that was nothing. At this point, I absolutely know. And so he's walking over to another one of the push sticks that I shot through my little fling thing, and in the direction of these guys, and I meet him at that spot, and I pick it up before him, and I just had like again like everything's diplomacy and intimidation checks, but I like really 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 had to very deep down inside the level of just absolute guttural hatred and bloodlust that I had at this act, and I'm sure people feel that because he's wearing a dress, but no, like just harming. Well, he like I tried to turn down my intimidation check drastically, and he was like immediately terrified. And as he just oh sorry, start walking away, and I'm like, well, I'll show you how this works. Like, eh, you know, like come here. Like I guess that kind of threw him off. I made him more scared. But then I like realized like holy fuck, like you're getting off on the terror and pain. It's like you're gonna cause like these like frail and helpless creatures, innocent creatures, and you like this person themselves. I thought there was gonna be. I thought they was gonna like stand. Like, don't tell me I can't. But like, I didn't think it was gonna be an instant retreat and running away. That's really like made me more mad in a way. Yeah, it made me more mad about it, and then I just kind of went Machiavellian and like, well, fuck, like you might as well be an example, and like this. So I started like screaming, not screaming, like bellowing, roaring, I guess, that hey, anyways, what's fragile and weak deserves to be destroyed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. What's fragile and weak deserves to be destroyed. I just started like, because he wouldn't even face me after that. He wouldn't even like stop. He just fucking ran, like fast walking. So I was like, all right, well, fine. And then it just started building up the emotional knowledge of like what was transpiring. And yeah, they're like fragile and weak, but in the gut sense of the video, I like put in the description, you're still fighting, like struggling. Uh, and I just like wanted to convey. Seas is still running. Yeah. Wanted to convey what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If he is morally justified in his actions of you know, killing, let's say baby animals, but you know, killing animals that can't even like defend themselves yet because they're just for the sake of it. Like there's no just thrill killing basically because they're so fragile and powerless against him. But then in that same sense, he when the first time something he comes across something that's bigger than him, like what's eye for an eye, except you know he's aiming at destruction or maybe maiming. I mean, there's he probably take a pleasure in the extended suffering. So what's good for him for to inflict onto others is good for others to inflict onto him. But then, yeah, then the other problem is the first day they were kind of incognito with like kind of they pass off as the other like enough as the other pigeons, and people didn't really like take a full on notice to them yet. By the second day, by that time, shit starts happening. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, now we know for sure that they're there, so that piques up interest of both compassionate folk and also the sadistic folk, and then the additional level of, oh, hey, that's something that person cares really a lot about. If we destroy that, we'll destroy that person, which is absolutely accurate. But in the most horrible ways that they can't imagine, like that, that yeah, say it's hard to win when you've got so much to lose. Uh, but if so much to lose is very precarious to losing and just to losing everything, like it's like when there's so much to lose, but the thing to lose is just one thing, and then someone takes that away. There's nothing left to lose. Uh, yeah, generally. Well, I was another point I had brought up at some point was debating with my friend down here. Is this to look up hysterical strength, and people will think, well, hysterical. It, oh, it's a term that's been ridiculed throughout history, and hysterics is great. Like look up hysterical strength. I was just trying to get him to go away from there. Oh, this video's gonna end soon because of memory constraints. But yeah, hysterical strength isn't like this flailing around and like emotional like crybaby this and that. Or, essentially, it's where someone can like lift up a car to save their kid, and that extra strength is rooted in emotions, not logic and facts. Because logic and facts quickly become irrelevant when they don't provide a very effective shield to justify one's brutal behavior and then try to walk away like scot clean. It's sort of gotten this whole tangent thing. The video's gonna end soon. There's no need to like make some videos while I have the opportunity for it's like there's too many people back here back and forth or like so I guess that just they just talked about some things that came to mind. I really wish I would have got some of their very pure and precious behaviors to try to capture some of that. You capture them like they've been practicing flying more